um, we had a scuffed moment during the last stream and all, and it kind of caused stuff to not save and all when I went to try to make highlights of everything. So because of that, I'm going to kind of just go over the list and what it looks like and all, since everything kind of got borked a bit in post production. Just want to see if you can hear the mic. Kind of can't hear it, but we're trying our best. But anyway, um, basically how the list went was obviously we went with Nurse on the top just because she's incredibly good and busts the game, goes through walls, goes through pallets, just completely denies everything. It was a no-brainer putting her in that tier basically. Then we got Hillbilly that sorry, I'm just testing the mic again real quick. Yeah, then we got Hillbilly, who's also incredibly good, very oppressive, went with the chainsaw, good map traversal, really, really good killer overall. It's a shame. We had such good debates and everything when we initially did this, but as you can see, I have all these killers and the final results of said tier list right here. Spirit is just incredibly good, even as much as I hate her. She's very easy to pick up and gets really good results. So you can't go wrong if you play Spirit. Neither neither can that. Also, I can't talk. It's so late. This is also true for the Blight as well. He's got some of the best map pressure in the game. Um, you can just slam into shit. You can always catch up to people. Barbecue's fantastic. Any or reading from far away. Pop is really good. Pain Res is good. I'm probably not gonna go for everyone, but just know that anyone that's in the really freaking good is obviously in top tier. Twix made a really good point when talking about Dracula that really made me change my opinions on how I thought of that killer because I had never played them. So it was kind of neat getting some insight from someone who's actually had experience. I can only go by what I've personally seen, like from vids and stuff. So, I mean, even from that, he had a lot of promise to me. So I put him up here. Pyramid Head is also incredibly good. Shoots through walls, denies a lot of game mechanics. Really, really good killer and very well deserving of top five. Chucky, you can never go wrong with. That dash is just so good. It leaps over the window vaults, the pallets. Heidi Ho gives you no terror radius besides like a little giggle or whatever, which is really good. Got a good field of view. So you can see survivors a lot better than like while you're in that third person view with this character. Twins, incredibly oppressive, very good pressure. You can control and lock down certain areas really well with them. I think that they're very underutilized for how good they can be when they're played. Wesker, I also think is very solid. I don't think he's as good as a lot of people say he is, like top five guys. So I'm just not saying it, but he has a lot of factors working in his favor that can very much benefit you when you're in chases and for map traversal and even slowdown with his crates that you got to pick up. And then we got the pretty good tier. We got all those guys there. Some notable ones is my boy Unknown. Love him. Very, very solid killer. I would recommend anyone to try them. Nemesis got quite a bit of buffs, so that's why I put him up as high as I did. I mean, I don't think I need to explain why Plague is so great and shout outs to Mai because she really likes that killer, along with the Oni, who's also incredibly good. We also got the artist with really good map pressure and all that. You can shoot from all the way across the map, which is really good for locking down gyms and doors, and generally just good for information. Also gives you killer instinct if you shoot them in a locker while they're hiding in it, so that also gives their position away. Huntress is incredible. I don't really need to go into details too much, other than her maybe being a little map dependent, which is why she got docked down a little bit. Got Pinhead, who's incredible. Pig, who can be really good in the right hands, as told to me by Twix when she was here. So I learned a lot from hearing her speak on how good Pig can be. I'm not necessarily a Pig player myself, but it was really interesting to learn. Similarities here too, and then we also got the Hag. Both are very similar to one another, where they can just instantly teleport to survivors given certain circumstances that need to be met first, which I think is really solid. And both of them have some pretty big counters to them, which is why I put them a little bit lower than the rest of the pack. Death Slinger is also really, really good. Like, he can just shoot through cracks and just make these gnarly shots. And I even mentioned during part two that got deleted, unfortunately, that you can do some pretty gnarly tricks, especially when you pull like the survivor off of a high place. You hit them, and before they can get the sprint burst, when they hit the ground, you can just go for a follow up, which you can down them like almost instantly, which is kind of nuts. I think I mentioned Nemesis, but Nemesis got a lot of notable buffs that make him a lot more oppressive in chase, and fixed his major issue with not having the best early game, which is huge. So that was why we put him there. And then after that, we got they all right. They're good. They're okay. Not the best, but they're all right. We got top the list. We got Leatherface just because of his potential to just insta down and just mess people up. It's kind of crazy, and he's very oppressive because of that. And then we got the three monsters together. We got Alien, we got Dredge, and we got Demogorgon. All of them have really good map traversal in their own ways. Each is different than the other, obviously. I think Alien's a bit better because you have constant access to, your tunnels, and plus I think your power being able to hit over the pallets and whatnot with your tail, I think is also really, really huge. I think that the weaknesses between Dredge and Demogorgon were a bit more crippling to them when compared to the Alien, when they got turrets that almost never do anything to them, versus like the lockers where you always got to deal with locks, and Demogorgon's always got to deal with possibly slamming into a window, losing chase if they miss the shred, and if you miss a portal, like if you lose a portal, then you gotta waste time setting that up again. So there's reasons why I thought Alien was a bit better. Um, then we got Vecna. I kind of said like he's like a jack of all trades and a master of none, which Twix pretty much agreed with me on that. He's kind of like overly complicated almost in a way, except he's not really, if that makes sense. It's kind of like you just need to have good management of your what tools you got available to use at that current moment. So I just think that some of the things that he can do are kind of like not the best when compared. Like I feel like there's other killers that can do his role a bit better. Like Flight of the Damned isn't that great. I don't think the orb is that entirely useful either because it's kind of slow moving, and if you have like the magic items that kind of counter him, you kind of get messed up with that. So that kind of messes with him a little bit, and I kind of docked him a little bit of that. And plus, he's a little over reliant on RNG for my liking. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of that, so I kind of docked him down a little bit for that too. Then we got the Trickster, who's very oppressive in chase. He's crazy good with his knives, really, really good in chase. You know, he can down you really quick if you don't know what you're doing. But that's the only thing I felt like he kind of has going for him. You still got to go in lockers and reload. And I mean, I honestly, if you were to get hit by like unknowns shit or Huntress or Deathslinger, you would just get the job done quicker without having to waste time like reloading and stuff. I just think there's killers that do the job better, in my opinion. Sadako was interesting because Twix had some pretty good points to bump them up a bit higher than what I originally would have placed them, and I kind of went with it. I kind of was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like the fact that she can have pretty much map traversal whenever she wants, besides when the TVs have to turn back on. But and then I kind of like thought about like how good the which I don't know what it is, the power that kind of like it's kind of like spirit phase where you just like phase in and out of reality or whatever. You got that where you can literally like negate stuns and you can just ignore body blocks, which I think is a lot better than people give it credit for. So we kind of decided to bump them up to there. And then we got the clown, who I think can be a little underrated sometimes. I think they have a really good chase, like some of the best in the game if done correctly. Um, the only catch is that they're not really they don't really have too much going for them besides that. So that's why we didn't put them too much higher than that. So then we got the Wraith, who is pretty average all round, really good stealth killer, and a really good killer to pick up if you're a beginner. Really good killer to learn fundamentals of how DBD works. I would definitely always recommend Wraith for any first timers to try to learn the game on how it works. It's simple to pick up. It's basic M1, then you got a little speed boost, you got a little bit of stealth, you got a little bit of everything. I think the highlight of the stream, and I'm hoping that it was in part one, it probably wasn't, but it was our debate between Legion and Ghostface. Twix was saying that Ghostface should go above Legion, and I thought that Legion should go above Ghostface. And we had our debate, and it was probably um, the most at it that we got with each other and whatnot. But it was really fun. It was really fun, like stating our points on like why we thought a certain killer was better than a certain killer. I think that was a lot of fun doing to do that while conducting a tier list, and it's just fun having debates with people. It's like it's nice to share our thoughts and challenge like what we know or don't know, and sometimes you can learn something new from it, which I think is a lot of fun. So I was pretty much saying, I mean, you get like a really, really easy hit. You got a lot of slowdown with the mending and stuff. I mean, and you got the potential to get it down if you hit everyone and they're mending or whatever. And if you're running like certain slowdown builds, like Fanatophobia and stuff, that could be nasty on the Legion. And I've personally gotten a lot more wins with Legion than I ever did with Ghostface. But and then on the other side of the coin, Ghostface can get insta downs, has really good stealth, and has potential for some pretty good mind games. Those were pretty much Twix's points. So I mean, I think they're pretty much on par with each other. I don't. It's hard to say really which one's better. I mean, I personally think Legion's better just because of accessibility and how much time mending can truly be if you play that right. And then we got the final member of this tier. We got Doctor. Doctor, I feel like sometimes his power can be really good, and then other times it can be a bit more of a hindrance. Like if you shock people at the wrong time, they still get the bolt the window. And if you get unlucky with static blast, you don't find nobody, and then you just gotta wait another 60 seconds until you use that power again, unless you got an add-on or something. I just think that tracking is pretty much your best bet with that, and do a skill check build, and I think that's pretty much all you got. I don't think it's like you could be wasting more time shocking people than actually doing chases and getting downs and all that. And so I don't know. He was alright. He was alright. Now we're moving down to bad tier where we had the knight, where he's a bit overly reliant on those AI guards. So I'm not necessarily too big on the changes that they made on the knight. I personally think they made him worse, but only time will tell. I mean, this is a fairly recent change from what I remember, so who knows? Anything can happen over time. So just I don't like the over reliance on AI. A lot of people don't think it's very fair. It's not very fun to go against. And I mean, for the knight player too, there's like a lot of instances where you can't really place guards down where you want them, or they'll just go get stuck on something, or they'll just it's the AI is very easily manipulated, and it can be very much to your detriment. So that's why I put them in bad. Now we got Trapper. People often think Trapper's the worst in the game. I mean, he's close, but I don't think he's the worst. Just because you can set up some pretty gnarly stuff. I mean, your end game defense, if you have a build revolving around it, can be some of the nastiest in the entire game. That and when you get basement trapper set up, that's also equally as nasty. Some of the best basement defense that the game has to offer. The only thing that's not working too good for him is that his early game has got to be some of the worst in the entire game. So that's why we got him so low down there. And then we got the fucking dog shit here with the lone member being Michael Myers because God, his early game is a joke. It's so fucking bad. Like by the time you get going with him, you get him to tier three, you're ready to insta down, and by the time that happens, you probably lost like one or two gens already. By the time that happens, maybe three too if they're competent. So it's just too much time to get him going and to get what you need to efficiently down people. And even so, like, even if you use it for a prolonged amount of time, you get a lot of tier threes going, right? You could, Myers is one of two killers that can run out of their power. That, him and fucking Freddy, who's all the way in Freddy fucking shit here. um, but yeah, Myers can actually run out if you kill a certain target too early. They get sacrificed, and that could be more evil that you could have gotten to help you win the game. And then you're just stuck in tier two for the whole time, and you're just at M1 with no power, which is not ideal. So the fact that that can even happen, I mean, just invokes the possibility of, hey, maybe we should rework this killer. And then, I mean, especially like any of these killers at bad and below desperately need a rework. Like, bad. Like, they're that bad that they need something to help them, like a full on rework. Anyway, now we go down to the last tier, the Freddy fucking shit tier, and let's talk about the main man himself, Freddy frickin' Krueger, who is also really bad at this game. It's kind of crazy to me that this killer is literally at his strongest at the beginning of the game. It kind of baffles me as gens get done, like you progressively get weaker because you can no longer teleport to a specific gen, and that is not good. And even the teleports that you do get to pull off are not instant, like unknown or, tag or singularity if you got the proper shit set up. It's just even demos is better. Like it's crazy like how bad it is. It takes forever to charge it, and if you cancel it, you gotta wait a few seconds again to try to do it again. And by the time you do that, they're fucking off. They're fucking off the gens. They're gone. So not the best. The I was saying earlier, like his whatchamacallits aren't that great. Like the I don't know what they're called, the blood shits on the ground. You just plop them down and then they step on it and they get slowed down. I mean, I don't think that's really useful, especially when you got Clown in the game, whose power is infinitely better for the same purpose. And then you also have the pallets, the dream pallets, that are basically Doctor's power, but just a shittier version of that too. So it's like all of his tools are, better performed by other characters, and you don't even have access to all the tools at the same time. You lose certain tools over the course of the game, which is bad. You can't have dream palettes and the blood pools in the same build, which is also really bad. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about Freddy. He's just not in a good spot right now, and definitely is in need of a rework. And then we finally got Skull Merchant, who is, as of right now, not in a really good spot if these changes that were proposed go through. Like, she's getting, it's just baffling. I think she's losing the slowdown effects of the scan. It's just not good for her right now. She's gonna lose how many scan lines you got. Like, you originally had two, now you're gonna be down to one. So that's kind of rough. If I would have ranked her as she is currently, I probably would put her on top of where Doctor is, like in between Ghostface and Doctor, and they are right tier. But if these proposed changes go through, then that just spells bad news for Skull Merchant overall. So in desperate need of a rework as well. Hopefully she gets that. And I'm sorry I had to do this quick recap. I was really hoping I could have gotten both parts on the VOD, but something happened and it just didn't go through for some reason. So thank you for everyone who just chilled out, all my lurkers and all that. I want to thank again Twix, who helped me compile this list. I want to thank Vanilla for lurking earlier, and I want to thank my Deadly Rose for popping in earlier tonight and sharing her love for the Oni and Bomber Mommy. I appreciate you a whole bunch. And once again, I want to thank any of the lurkers who were chilling out earlier in the stream tonight. I wanted to be able to document this because I had so much fun doing it. I hope to make more tier lists in the future, and hopefully they won't be near as scuffed as this one was. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight, and may as well do another raid. Fuck it, why not? Raiding's fun. Raiding's fun. Why not? I wonder if Crisis is on. I'll probably raid them again because I don't think anyone else that I know is still on right now for the two raids. But we'll double check. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, it's just Crisis again. Honestly, I'll just raid them again. Put the little mini recap recap stream again. All right, let's go say hi to Rigid Crisis. They're playing Fortnite. Gotta get them dubs. Haven't played Fortnite in a very long time. This wasn't for me. But thanks again, everybody. I appreciate y'all. I hope you guys have a great evening. And I will talk to y'all soon. Take care now. Bye bye.